wonderful Oracle deck here, all 105 cards.
And I love the shape of these cards.
And there are a variety of artwork. In full disclosure, the artwork was done by me and my best friend AI because I'm not that good of an artist. So the first edition that I'm publishing is going to be this edition that I have here. This edition, besides the 105 cards, I have come up with a book.
Yay!
Now the book that's coming out is slightly different. I put some words on the front. So this is just a proof copy that I went through and I proofread and definitely made some alterations to it. But it is set up where all the cards have entries, at least 2 pages. Some are 4 pages with color pictures. There is a really good section on. Let me get here. Okay. How to conduct the reading, because it is a hexagonal spread, I guess you could say, but there's no real memorization of what the spread is about, because the only things you need to remember whenever you place something is where the elements are. And on the cards, you can see where there's a high spirit and there's a water, there's an air, there's a fire, there's an earth and a low spirit. And it's written on every card. So it's kind of hard to lose sight of that because it's in front of you. I tried to make this simple for me.
But the cards themselves, just because of that shape, they add to each other. You nestle them basically together and can go off on whatever tangent you want, which means there's not necessarily ever going to be a standard layout.
Correct.
Because it's all intuitive, even how many cards and where you place them.
Yep. Because sometimes I'll have 6 cards out and that'd be a very short reading and they've received the message they wanted to receive. And then fortunately, they're done and I don't make much. But that's okay. Then there's other times where I'll have a lot of, 20 cards out. They'll want to dig deeper, and I will pick up that card and I will start over and just keep going. So in doing the spread in the chapters, like here I have activity 1, which is the basic 6-card spread, and it covers all that. And then that would be an initial reading that you could do. Then the activities go into digging a little deeper. As you can see, dig a little deeper, get in a little more cards out there, clarify stuff, find out how to get past something. So if you have a card and it's a challenge, I like to put the 3 cards around it that are exposed and say, well, this is what you need to do to get past this challenge. And that's not necessarily how you have to do it, but that's what I do. And then I do have a small thing about digging overly deep, and that's where we're actually picking up the card that you really want to dig deep into and then starting over, that sort of thing. And if you can do those activities, that's it. And even in the book, it says, that's it. You've got this. That's really the extent of it. Technically, you should be able to do an intuitive reading even without the book, in theory.
Just by responding to the artwork you see and the language on the cards and what they mean to you.
Exactly.
Will get you most of the way there, if not all the way there. And then if you want more, well, there's a book.
There is a book. I'm also going to introduce the idea that there's also a chapter on numerology. I personally don't use numerology very
Numerological
much.
Thinking.
But I find that sometimes the numerology really resonates with the person I'm doing the reading for. The card will come out and it'll have a certain number which really has a meaning for that person, and it's in a really important spot. And they say something, and then we end up talking about it, and then it takes the reading in a different direction. So numerology does come into play sometimes for me. I don't look for it a lot. If I'm looking for like a yes/no answer, numerology helps, because you can use the odd and even, 1 being yes, 1 being no, and then multiple cards. You just, if you have 4 and 3, then it's maybe that way. If they're all the same, then you're like, hey, this is really definite type of answer. But yeah, there's a thing on numerology. There's also a small chapter on awakening your intuition. And it's basically saying to use your intuition, see what you see coming out of the cards. Um, one card could have multiple meanings based on the reading. You
Mhm.
know, a good one was my spider card. Sometimes it means something scary.
Yeah.
Sometimes it means multiple legs to a problem. Sometimes it's the web
Mhm.
and how things are interconnected and how life is so difficult. So that, I mean, there could be multiple meanings for any card.
Mhm.
I do cover the philosophy behind the different elements. In this case, I say 6 elements, which I know there's 4, but I include the high spirit and low
There
spirit
you go.
in order to make the 6 for the cards. You know, I feel that works out really well because the low spirit is at the bottom,
Mhm.
and that's where we have everything. That's everything. That's us in the real world. And then you have the earth, air, fire, and water. So you take those in the middle and you take them out of that low spirit, and all you have left is high spirit, spirituality. And that's the idea behind the cards. So anyway.